It's Acoustic 30. Today, we talk with Luke Williams. Acoustic 30 on Facebook and on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the page. It's so good for you. I've talked to doctors or people who said they were doctors and said it is actually a health benefit. Today we're with Luke Williams. Welcome, Luke.
Man, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
Well, it's good to chat with you. You and I have been on the road a time or two together.
Absolutely.
From what I've been told, I don't remember. But
I think it was Cowboys in Dothan, Alabama was the last show we did together.
Yeah, that's right. And then we ran down to Florida just to go to Florida for the heck of it. So
just to take the tourist welcome to Florida sign selfie.
We drank orange juice.
We did.
Yes.
It was a majestic morning.
So you've been kicking around the music scene here in Central Arkansas and Nashville. You've played the Grand Ole Opry, dude. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit, but what drove you into music? What got you there?
Man, I've been very, very blessed from the word go to do way more than I ever bargained for the first time I picked one of these up. I started when I was 8 years old, and my dad would take me to watch my uncle's band rehearse. And I fell in love with it, and I would sit there in the corner with a little cheap Walmart guitar, and then one day they'd let me plug in, and then they would let me have a solo, and then the next thing I know, I'm getting to gig and play, and I've been playing in bars since I was 12, so.
You've been at it for a minute.
Quite a while.
At the radio station I work at, I was going through some stuff, and I think I showed it to you. I found one of your old headshots. You had to have been 12, 11, 13.
I think I won the embarrassing headshot day when they did that on Instagram.
I think that it was
ago.
a good shot. You had long hair.
Had the 10-gallon cowboy hat.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Back when I used to let my grandmother dress me.
Pearl snaps and a bolo tie. It was great. You just put out a new album. I've been seeing this. Let's talk about that for a second.
We released a brand new record in April called Green Lights, 12 brand new songs. I wrote or co-wrote 11 of the 12 songs, so I'm very, very proud. It's like I consider it my magnum opus of songwriting. It's kind of my catalog to show who I am and this is what I do, and if you need to know anything about me, it's all on that. It's on the disc.
It's a biography.
Absolutely.
Musically, and it's available right now. Both you have CDs and on.
Right now, while we have physical copies and we're selling those online, we're hoping to have it on iTunes and Spotify within the next month.
Okay, very cool.
So that's incoming.
It's early, but let's go ahead and get your social media and everything out. Can't do it too much.
Absolutely. Facebook is just Luke Williams Band. Instagram, Luke Williams Music. And Twitter is Luke Williams BND because they wouldn't let me put the whole name, caps and stuff. But that's all my social media. So.
When you got into the studio to start, or I guess wherever your writing process occurs to start writing these songs for the album or any songs that you write, what does that look like? Do you need to be alone? Do you need to be with someone else?
It depends really. I try to not blow up my own ego in the sense that sometimes a lot of people feel like they can only write with themselves and they don't want to give other people credit. If it's a song that I feel like I have to say what I want to say, I'll write it alone. And there are times I feel like I'm not doing the song justice if I don't let somebody else come in and help and give it another perspective. So it depends on the song,
Kind of takes its own life.
Sometimes I'll sit down with a pen and 10, 15 minutes later it's done, and then there's times I'll have an idea and not touch it for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm like that. I've got 10-year-old half-finished choruses.
Absolutely.
Just sitting around.
I'm lucky to have really good co-writers too. So I can't really give them enough praise. It helps,
Well, I know you and Big Shane do some writing together.
Quite a bit, yeah. He wrote 2 on the new record, actually.
Oh, okay, very cool.
2, yeah.
And of course, we've interviewed Big Shane before. Big Shane Thornton, by the way. So, is there a song on the album that is kind of your favorite? And that's a weird question to ask, I know, because it's like picking a favorite child.
Absolutely. And I don't even have any, but I can relate to that.
I don't know
that I know of.
That I'm aware of.
So far, all the paternity tests have came back okay.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
I joke about that in one of the songs. and the girl thought it was hilarious.
Okay, well then you had one with
It's good. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
Oh my
really?
gosh, you have to laugh at yourself. I spend too much time with myself to take myself seriously.
Absolutely.
But your favorite song, I know again that's a bad question to ask, but what would that be?
Man, probably the title track of the album. I'll go ahead and play it. Let's
do it.
This is Green Light, and this was kind of my take. I try to not let other work bleed into mine too much, but this was my take. You've got the Tommy and Ginas and the Jack and Dianes that you hear about. I like songs that are kind of empowering because there's so much negativity in the world today. Everybody's sad and mad and upset about everything. I wanted something that was positive, so that's where this came from. Billy was a dreamer, but his life had been planned. His parents had it mapped out until he took a stand. Knew what he wanted, so he went out and got it without any help. He found happiness when he found himself. Just needed the green light when the time's right. Headed towards an open road, a North Star and a fast car, anywhere you wanna go. It seems we spend most our lives waiting on a green light. Jenny was 19 and a mama with the future on her mind. But she can't study with 2 jobs, it's hard to find the time. Her no good baby daddy said you can't do nothing right. But now she's graduating college with a 3.9. She just needed the green light when the time's right. Headed towards an open road, a North Star and a fast car, anywhere you wanna go. It seems we spend most our lives waiting on a green light. When they tell you that you can't, you just prove them wrong. So here's to Billy and Jenny, and you listening to this song. Needing a green light when the time's right. Headed towards an open road, a North Star and a fast car, anywhere you wanna go. It seems we spend most our lives waiting on a green light.
I love it. I love
Thank you,
the
man.
sentiment of it too. We're all waiting for
that.
permission to succeed.
Absolutely. If you wait too long, it's gonna pass you by. You just gotta jump and reach for it while you can.
And that's actually good advice from Luke, because Luke played the Grand Ole Opry, and he's the only one that I know personally that has done that. What was that like?
It was, there's no words. It's funny because they always told me, if you ever get the opportunity to do it, every musician I talked to said, you blink and you miss it. And I'm like, how can you miss that? It's it's the pinnacle. It is the Super Bowl of country music. And they weren't kidding. You go up there, you plug in, you look out, and you see the lights, and the next thing you know, you're walking off stage and you're done, and you don't know whether you just played the right notes or not.
Just blackout kind of?
Pretty much. It's a sober blackout, because Jeff Bates was the reason I got to do that. He was playing the Ralph Stanley Memorial Tribute Concert. And it was jam-packed, all the stars, and everybody was playing, and there was a house band. And Jeff opted out of using the house band. He said, it's just going to be me and you, and we're going to do Amazing Grace. And I think the coolest moment was going up there and playing it. I'm scared to death.
Oh, and, man, you would have to be. I would be.
Oh, yeah, it would be scary enough with the house band, but to walk up there with just me and my mentor, who has showed me the business and the ropes and how to do this for so long, and to play Amazing Grace, it's kind of like doing the national anthem. You don't mess. That's one of the songs you don't mess up. All right, it's like a golden rule, To go up there, and as soon as my solo was done, and in my mind I'm thinking, I tanked. That was horrible, and then I got a round of applause, and that was the coolest thing for me. I was like,
that had to just be such a high.
I kept thinking back to that 3rd grade teacher that was like, you need to find a serious career because the whole rock star thing's never going to work. And I'm like, I showed her.
I'm at the Grand Ole Opry.
I showed her.
Yeah, and if you're listening, he played the Grand Ole Opry.
Right. And both of my grandmothers got to be there to see it too.
Oh man, how cool!
And my grandfather. So I was the favorite that Christmas.
I would imagine so. Well, I told people about it. I was like, I got a buddy that played the Grand Ole. I'm dropping your name all over. Well, of course. Like I mentioned, we have played together. You carried me, and I stood there. But
whatever.
You have a Takamine right now.
Yes, this is my baby. I've had her since 2004. This guitar's got a really cool story, actually. Going back to the Jeff thing and everything being full circle, I've been a Jeff Bates fan since I was a baby.
Yeah.
So to go from super fan as a child to working with him as an adult trying to make it music has been a really cool and rewarding thing. In 2004, my parents took me to Summit Arena in Hot Springs to see, it was Jason Aldean, who was brand new, Jeff, and Clay Walker. after the show, Jimmy Erie, who's wrote a bunch of hits, he invited me on the bus to jam and meet Jeff, and I met Kenny Beard, who is one of the greatest songwriters. Every Tracy Lawrence hit or Trace Atkins that you can think of, he had a hand in. He passed recently, and he was a great man. They invited me on the bus. They handed me this guitar, and they had me play. And it was funny because Jeff and Clay Davidson were playing Stump Luke with Skynyrd tunes because they knew I was a Skynyrd.
Right.
And then Kenny, I said, well, do you write? And I played him some little dinky, cheesy song that I wrote, a little kid. And after it was over, he said, if you promise to keep writing and stay with it, you take that guitar home with you. And of course, my mother's like, are you sure? Or do you want to do this? He might break it. He's kind of clumsy. But he went, no, and he recited, I can't remember what the scripture was, but he quoted a Bible verse and gave it to me, and we prayed. And I've had the guitar ever since and have traveled the world with it. And I didn't really realize how special it was until when I'd heard that he passed. And I sat there and the guitar was sitting on the stand, and I'm thinking, man, I wouldn't have done so many things if it had not been for him giving me this. And I've written every song pretty much I've ever written on this guitar. And it's a part of me, and
Dude,
it's
that's crazy. I had no idea, and it's loved. You can
it's
tell.
It's very loved. You can tell she's seen better days, but
No, man, guitars get better when they start to look like that, in my opinion.
I look at Willie Nelson's guitar trigger.
Yeah,
that guitar's
absolutely.
been through hell, but it's been loved.
That's the coolest part of instruments to me.
Absolutely.
Well, you want to play something else from the new album? Or
Sure.
You wanna...
Speaking of loved,
Speaking
this is one I'm really proud of. It's kind of cool too because if you get the new record, this is the only song I think in Luke history where there's no guitar on it. I called my buddy Charlie Barnes, who's a fantastic musician. He does a lot of movie scores, and we did it kind of Glenn Campbell style, to where it's just piano and a string section.
Oh.
Because I thought the song was too pretty to be just some kind of twangy country ballad. But I will try to play it acoustic today. I don't think I've ever actually done it.
Oh, it's a debut.
So this could be good, could be a train wreck. We'll see.
It's gonna be fantastic.
It's called Made to Be Loved. There's always an old man telling stories under neon lights in a smoke-filled bar. I'm kinda stubborn and never listen until one of them hit me pretty hard. He said, I see you in here all the time with a different one on your arm. But you always wind up back on that bar stool, broken down, broken hearted, a little scarred. He said, you're good at getting in there, but you're all about the short game, and her letting you in is a completely different thing. 'Cause each one is somebody's daughter that wants to be a good man's girl. Think twice about your intentions the next time you give it a whirl. And if you're trying to figure her out, boy, good luck. She wasn't made to be understood. She was made to be loved. Boy's gonna ask when she fell from heaven, but a man is grateful every time she takes him there. And a boy gets insecure when they're apart, but a man trusts her to do anything, anywhere. And do you pay attention to the little things? What makes her laugh and smile? Her favorite book, her favorite movie, everything that drives her wild. 'Cause each one is somebody's daughter that wants to be a good man's girl. Think twice about your intentions next time you give it a whirl. And if you're trying to figure her out, boy, good luck. She wasn't made to be understood. She was made to be loved. He said I had 32 years with mine before the good Lord took her home. You don't find that kind of happiness on an app on your phone. 'Cause each one is somebody's daughter that wants to be a good man's girl. Think twice about your intentions next time you give it a whirl. And if you're trying to figure them out, boy, good luck. She wasn't made to be understood. She was made to be loved. Made to be loved.
Dude.
Thank you.
And that was the first time it's been played publicly on
an acoustic
on a six string.
that I remember, yeah. Because I didn't play any guitar on the recording, so I was kind of second guessing myself the whole time. But
I love that hopeless romantic kind of mentality. Do you think all musicians are like that? Because I'm like that. As terrible as I am at it, I feel that way.
It's one of those things, you know. There's the old saying, you know, we always want what we don't have. And a lot of people that don't play music think it's all, you know, parties and chasing girls. And when you're young, it is. It's funny, everybody thinks backstage is always this big ordeal, which most backstage areas in a professional setting are just a bunch of dudes sitting on couches, drinking Coca-Cola, texting their girlfriends that are 600-700 miles away. But yeah, it's like people see it different from what it is in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and if you're anything like me, when I first got into radio or music or anything, I lived that lifestyle for a while. But man, that you won't have a tremendous amount of success. You won't play the Grand Ole Opry if you do it all the time.
I still am not sure how that happened.
Talent is how it happened, Luke.
Very blessed.
Well, so the new album, again, going back to that. I know I already asked you what your favorite song was. Maybe a second favorite, I guess. I'm trying to think of a better way to ask that. But
there's so many. Well, the cool thing about it, when we did this album, we started it in 2013. I didn't have a band together yet. I was kind of in transition, so I went in and I had 4 songs, and I went to Josh Newcomb's studio, and I took session players, really good session players, and we cut the first 4 tracks. And one of them was Every Me Needs a You, which was the radio single that's got the video. And seems to be, if there's one song people know me for, that's the one. Yeah. And we tracked those.
Watch the video, by the way.
Yes, that video is up on YouTube.
Sharp videography.
And call your local radio station, request it, because most of them have it.
Do that too.
We tracked those 4 songs, and I kind of shelved the project, and I almost quit and got out of this and thought about doing something else. And I thought, well, this is never going to see the light of day. And then I've had the same drummer and bass player with me now for going on 4 or 5 years, and my guitar player Don's been with me for about a year. And I just decided, you know, I've got all these songs. Let's just go record them. And luckily, thanks to some really awesome sponsors, we went into the studio and finished it and fine-tuned it, and now we have a 12-song album.
That's crazy. That's that whole process. How long from beginning to concept till here's a CD?
First day of recording, those first 4 songs were done in April 2013. Then it sat with no progress forever and just was collecting dust. And then last year, around October, we got in and finished it, and we released it April of this year.
Very cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Man.
I'm excited. It's my baby. I'm excited.
Oh, I know it is. Again, we want to send people to find that. We can't do this enough. Social media, websites.
Yes. Luke Williams Band on Facebook, coming to iTunes and Spotify very soon, and Apple Music.
Very cool. Feel like playing another one, brother?
Yeah. Actually, this is a brand new one that's not been recorded yet. It's going to go on the next album, hopefully. It kind of contradicts everything from the previous song, but this is a song about being a horrible person.
It's okay to have mood swings.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What songwriter doesn't?
I'm telling you, dude.
This is one called Good With Names, and once you hear it, you'll get the gist of why I said that. How many broken hearts can one man have before he admits that he is the problem? Sometimes I'm the victim, but it doesn't happen often. And there's a couple of girls out there who care for me, but then again there's a few that like to see me hanging from a tree. 'Cause Beth thought I had potential, and Kay thought I was lazy. It's no mystery to anyone why I never worked out with Stacy. Nicole just wanted to get married, and Raven was insane. One thing's for sure, I've never been good with names. Well, Lacey was my favorite when it came to shooting tequila. Heather ran away with my heart and had me in my feelings. And Brittany 1 and Brittany 2 were mad as hell when I got them confused. One tried to house train me, and one might be having my baby. 'Cause Beth thought I had potential, and Kay thought I was lazy. It's no mystery to anyone why I never worked out with Stacy. Nicole just wanted to get married, and Raven was insane. One thing's for sure, I've never been good with names. Subconsciously, I might be dodging rings and picket fences. One day I might grow up and see how the other side lives. Nah, 'cause Beth thought I had potential, and Kay thought I was lazy. It's no mystery to anyone why I never worked out with Stacy. Nicole just wanted to get married, and Raven was insane. One thing's for sure, I've never been good with names. One thing's for sure, I've never been good with names.
Well, you're writing about my love life,
Right.
I see.
It goes back to being able to laugh at yourself.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
Humility is a key thing in this industry.
God, I don't know how anyone could take themselves seriously in
absolutely.
this industry. You ever met someone who does like really take themselves seriously?
They don't last long.
They don't.
There's no longevity there. Ever.
I can think of a few names that I won't drop in the various entertainment sectors that I've worked in, but they're no longer in those various entertainment sectors.
And the cool thing too that I've noticed in years of doing this and being lucky to work with a lot of good names, it seems like the bigger the artist, the nicer they are. And I know a lot of people wouldn't think that, because like a lot of your people with one or two hits are really green and egotistical, and you just don't even want to approach them. But then you've got the Brad Paisleys and the Justin Moores that are the nicest people
as they can be
on the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to do a gig last year in a Skinner tribute band, and the other guitar player opposite me was Rich Eckhart, who plays for Toby Keith and has been with Toby for years. And I'm scared to death. I'm thinking, man, I was a little kid, watching this guy on the CMAs with Toby. And I'm so nervous, and man, he comes up to me, shakes my hand, and goes, "Hey, I saw you. I looked you up on YouTube, and looked up your stuff, and you play your ass off," and which is really, really cool. And it was very humbling to see guys that were in that position had no ego.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of unique in the music industry to country music, especially. I mean, the Nashville and the Texas scene as well, because there is a thriving scene in Texas. For the majority of the part, the people I've met have been just fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
So you've lived in Nashville, you've been traveling all over, and I'm thinking how to phrase this question correctly, but is there a story on the road that is PG?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
that took it down quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. We'll do the after hours Acoustic 30 eventually, but
Drew Mitchell After Dark.
yeah, well, that's already taken for a different reason, but we won't. Is there a story that comes to your mind that you like to tell from being on the road?
It's funny. I wasn't on the road, but one of my favorite stories actually happened right here. I brought up Brad, and I try to not brag about this too much, but just he's my hero, and that was the coolest thing for me. Verizon Arena, 2011, I believe it was. It was Justin Moore, Darius Rucker, and Brad Paisley. And Brad let me come out on stage at the end of the show and play the song Alcohol with them on his rhythm guitar player Gary Hooker's rig. And it was so funny because these guys, they know the set, and every night Brad brings out his openers and has the bar rolled out, and they come on stage and everybody's waving to the crowd. What's funny is Darius Rucker. Of course, I've been listening to Hootie and the Blowfish since I was a kid.
Absolutely.
Man. And I love his country stuff too.
Oh, it's amazing.
And it's so funny because I was on Gary's platform playing guitar, and I'm just over the moon about being on stage in a big arena, and there's 11,000 people. And I noticed that Darius is just kind of walking around the stage and kind of looking around at the band guys like, "Hey guys, what's up? I know y'all are cool." And then he comes over to me, he's like, who's this guy? Like, and I'm like, Darius Rucker just pointed at me, wanting to know who the hell I am.
That's enough.
But then I kept playing. He's like, and just kept walking. And I don't know why, but that was just the coolest moment for me.
That's an awesome moment.
I got the point. It was
From Hootie.
It was just shy of the wink and the gun.
But next time you see him,
Hopefully.
I mean, I could give it to you if you want, the wink and the gun. You could,
Yeah.
that
Wait.
sounded weird. I took that in a strange direction.
Goes back to the Drew After Dark thing.
It's Drew After Dark. Look up the website and don't judge me.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, before I make it more awkward, let's do some more music.
Absolutely, man. This is another one off the new record. A song called Mirror. They say that I went crazy. They say I lost my mind since the day she walked away. I just ain't been right. I'd like to say it's not my fault, but that ain't true. There's a lot of hurtful things that I just can't undo. And I swore I never let myself fall this far down. And I trade the wind beneath these broken wings for some solid ground. Lately I'm not proud of who I seem. I just wish the man in the mirror looked more like me. She did her best to save me. I had too much pride. And all those times she cried at night, I should have been by her side. I know I shouldn't care anymore, and it's all in the past. But I'd have held her tighter had I known that dance would be our last. And I swore I never let myself fall this far down. And I'd trade the wind beneath these broken wings for some solid ground. Lately I'm not proud of who I seem. I just wish the man in the mirror looked more like me. And I swore I never let myself fall this far down. And I'd trade the wind beneath these broken wings for some solid ground. Lately I'm not proud of who I seem. I just wish the man in the mirror looked more like me. They say that I went crazy. They say I lost my mind since the day she walked away. I just ain't been right.
Luke Williams, man, that's fantastic.
I appreciate
I
that.
just saw my future for a second doing these shows, and like, because all these songs are kind of hitting home. The cowbell adele. But one day I'm going to cry on this program for one of these songs. I just know that. Luke, you want to play us out, brother?
Let's go. Whoever's the first person to make Drew cry, somebody email me, let me know.
You get a
I owe him a
t-shirt.
drink. Yes, I made Drew Mitchell cry on,
That's right.
on Acoustic 30. Man, thank you guys for having me. I
Dude, thanks for
appreciate
coming up. It's been awesome.
it. Enjoyed it, man. I guess I'll send off with the single that everybody knows. This is a song called Every Me Needs a You. Ain't no secret, we got feelings for each other. Anyone around us can see. You wanna dive on in, and baby, so do I. You're afraid of getting in too deep. Maybe I'm a little hard to handle. Maybe I'm a little hard to love. Maybe I need an angel sent from above. Every Waylon needs a Jesse. Every Johnny needs a June. Every Romeo needs a Juliet. And every me